Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. PNP says dual citizenship debacle a distraction. NIA chastises government over phased approach in removal of monarchy and Privy Council. And later in sports, 2 other Jamaican athletes added for Racers Grand Prix this weekend. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. It's a distraction. That's the opinion of PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell, who is strongly defending the party president's dual citizenship. As Sandy Williams reports, Dr. Campbell believes the governing JLP is using the issue to detract from the many problems facing Jamaicans.
The British citizenship of PNP President Mark Golding has been dominating the political scene for days. It comes a year and a few months before the next general election, which is due September 2025. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell has described the citizenship saga being pushed by the JLP as a distraction.
It is a distraction that we are no longer safe in our communities. Because the little playground don't get a Goshen sentence that has become a battlefield under this neighborhood government. It is a distraction that when you send your children to school, you have to worry if your picnic will come back to you in a 1 week. It's a distraction from the issues that are really affecting the people of this country.
Since Mr. Golding's father was from England, he got his citizenship by descent. But Mr. Golding was born and raised in Jamaica. The law allows Commonwealth citizens to serve in Parliament. However, some argue Jamaican parliamentarians should not have any other citizenship. According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, any individual who aspires to lead Jamaica but remains a dual citizen is both untenable and incurable. Mr. Golding has hit back, maintaining that he remains compliant with the laws of Jamaica. It's why Dr. Campbell believes the Prime Minister is now attempting to amend the law.
Because he knows that he has dual citizens on his side, he's now trying to make up a rule that says you are allowed to be in Parliament if you are a dual citizen. But you can't run against me. If you lead the opposition who are going to try to the Prime Minister work for me, you will not have it. Laws cannot be discriminatory.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
In the meantime, PNP President Mark Golding says he remains focused on what he's termed the real issue at hand, which is to ensure his party forms the next government. Speaking in Gale St. Mary on Sunday, Mr. Golding explained that all signs are indicating that the PNP will take over Western St. Mary from the JLP in the next general elections. And in urging supporters to ignore what he described as the noise in the political arena, he explained what he believes people should be concerned about.
The country needs leadership with integrity. The country needs leadership that the people can have trust and confidence in. We need a Prime Minister whose Integrity Commission statutory declarations can be certified and published in accordance with law. We have not put any ban or gag order on any of our MPs or senators talking about Integrity Commission issues.
In going further, Mr. Golding pointed to the issues within the education system.
Too much youth going through primary school, leaving primary school, can't read and write, can't do basic arithmetic. We have to fix that.
National Integrity Action, NIA, has added its voice to the debate over whether the removal of the monarchy should be in tandem with removing the Privy Council as Jamaica's final appellate court. It has been a sore point in discussions between the government and the opposition. The government maintains that matters relating to Jamaica's apex court will be dealt with in the second phase of the constitutional reform process. But Principal Director of the Integrity Watchdog Group, Daniel Archer, says the government's communication on the constitutional reform process needs to be clear.
When you say to me it's just about removing the king, okay, fine. Does this mean we're going to wait 60 more years for us to have an independent court? And here is where we must really consider the implications. It's great to remove the king. We agree. That means that all the lawyers and we have King's Counsel have to drop them the title letter and perhaps become People's Counsel. But that's another conversation. How are you going to have the Privy Council tell you whether or not a law is constitutional or not?
As for the phased approach, which the government is insisting on,
some things don't really make sense anymore. Because if the Privy Council is making laws that our own senior lawyers have to be saying that no mean nothing to it, that no right, it's a breach of our constitution, it tells us that we need to get up, grow up. If you're talking about a legacy, legacy is not just one phase. Legacy is taking everything together and saying, look, let's educate, let's get the people to participate. And when we get that, we get everybody to cooperate and decide, maybe the people want it, maybe what Daniel is saying is rubbish, then tired to hear me. I take it.
Despite the public officials protection system policy being passed in the House of Representatives over 2 years ago, it is yet to be implemented. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang maintains the outright use of police officers for close protection officer or bodyguard duties is untenable. He maintains that police personnel should be more focused on crime fighting, since the threat against public officials is very low despite our high incidence of crime and violence. Now, he was addressing the recent staging of the Police Federation Conference in St. James.
CPOs, I said, will be, as the policy comes on stream, to reduce the number doing bodyguard work and have them really protect the officers who is considered to be at risk, which is with the senior people in government and otherwise, while the other regular supporting, which they do give, is more support they do, adjunct work will be done by a different cadre of people. That cadre is not settled under so there is no identified group of special services people who what the CPO will become.
Dr. Chang further notes that due to the number of CPOs, there is a challenge when it comes on to resources.
The reason you have vehicle problems, if there's need for any of your operational divisions to go there, because what we're tracking down are criminals and they're murderers, not just a criminal man who, do some kind of a minor thing. The people are tracking down, and the CTOC, the CIB division, the operations ops teams need transport, then they'll be shifting that emphasis of the vehicles into that division. And today we tend to give police vehicles to the commanding officer to distribute. Some is retained in the ministry, especially for CPOs, but we are insisting that the ministry buy vehicles.
He said the move is to have private security companies provide close protection services to some public officials. And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Chairman of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce, Oral Heaven, is objecting to the implementation of a toll along the Long Hill bypass as part of a Montego Bay Perimeter Road project currently under construction. A toll booth is currently being erected. Mr. Heaven says the toll will significantly impact businesses in that area.
Based on the use of the Long Hill Road now and the people are afraid to use that road and it's accident prone, and we know the condition of that road. If there's a toll attached to that road, then naturally it will defeat the purpose of bypassing it, because the persons will avoid the toll and avoid paying the toll on the bypass and continue using that dangerous road. So the concern from the members and from the past president is we should look at how we can make that road available to users without having a toll.
Mr. Heaven further questioned the feasibility as well as how the road will be maintained. He says discussions are in their early stages to look at all possibilities of an alternative.
The reality is it's investment, like any other business. The road is an investment. There were no money borrowed to do this road. As you know, it's coming from taxpayers' money, which is a good thing. The question is, how do we maintain that road? So if we're building the road, we want to have a good road and we want to be maintained, drains to be clean, etc., etc. So the discussions that we want to have, and we're inviting NRAC to the table for the discussion, and they are willing to come to the table for the discussion, and that is what is good. So we'll hear more and we'll be having more on it, but the reality is now the feedback from the membership and from the past president is that we should look at alternatives in maintaining the road or alternatives to the toll.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. Medical imaging firm Elite Diagnostics is reporting increased profit for its third quarter ending March 2024. For the period, the company made post-tax earnings of 12.6 million Jamaican dollars. That's compared to the similar period in March 2023, when Elite made 6 million Jamaican dollars. Elite Diagnostic reported a revenue of over $205 million for the third quarter, ended March 2024. This represents a 2% increase for the period ended in March, in contrast to the $202.2 million made in the similar three-month period in 2023. Elite Diagnostics says, compared to last year, the company's improved financial performance was as a result of strategies implemented to reduce the downtime of its machines. Elon Musk's AI startup xAI raised $6 billion in Series B funding, reaching a post-money valuation of $24 billion as investors bet big on challenges to companies like OpenAI in the intensifying AI race. The company, in a blog post on Sunday, said the funding round was backed by investors, including Andreessen Horowitz and Sequoia Capital. The company's pre-money valuation was $18 billion. The money will be used to take xAI's first products to market, build advanced infrastructure, and accelerate research and development of future technologies. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top regional and international stories. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.